Ford has an embarrassing secret they don't want you to know. But what is it? Ford likes to make you think they're the pioneers of innovation and success. Henry Ford, after all, is credited with making the Model T, a car which for the first time allowed middle-class America to affordably travel. This revolutionized how people lived their lives, and the mass production techniques created by Henry Ford completely changed how business owners ran their businesses. So what is it Ford doesn't want us to know then? Well, although Ford loves reminding people of its successes, like the GT wins at Le Mans, or that the Ford F-150 is one of the best-selling cars of all time, Ford doesn't always succeed in everything it does. In 1955, the vehicle market was hot. 7 million passenger cars had just been sold in America, and that was 1 million more than last year. Ford's share price was skyrocketing, and it seemed like nothing could stop them. So why not invest $250 million in a new car range, the executives thought? Well, although that might not sound like a lot, the estimated value of the Ford Motor Company at that time was only $650 million. So this really was a massive gamble on nearly half of the company's net worth. So what was this brand new car called? Well, it was called the Edsel, and it wasn't without its problems. Firstly, the name, chosen because it was the name of one of the company's president's fathers. This didn't exactly scream cool, as the name was already out of fashion back then. This wasn't the only issue though. Roy Brown, the car's designer, wanted the car to have a unique style which no other car had. Brown found that at 100 meters, all the cars on the market looked exactly the same, so he made it his mission to completely reinvent what had come before. And in a sense, he succeeded. When he first unveiled the clay prototype for the car, the audience repeatedly sat in silence for 1 whole minute. Then, as if by magic, they all burst into a round of applause. Looking back retrospectively, could this be a perfect example of groupthink? Why did no one clap straight away? Well, the Edsel didn't go down in history for its beauty, but forgetting that, making a car, and one that was mass producible, is not an easy task. Ford's problem was that their current mid-sized and priced car was unsuccessful, and consumers were switching to competitors to buy this car class. The Edsel then was seen as the golden child to keep customers and give them a great alternative to a mid-range car. The issue with this was, although the prototype for the car was first unveiled in 1955, it took 2 years of preparation to get marketing ready, inform dealers, gain executive approval, and set up the production line. All while this was happening though, America was changing. The market moved away from middle-sized cars and wanted fast, nimble, and less powerful cars. These cars were called compacts, and the traditional stats-driven market Ford had come to expect was completely turned around. All this aside though, one event more than any others might have sealed the fate of the Edsel. It was August 1957, and Ford had kept the Edsel a closely guarded secret. It had only shown its most trusted, interested dealers. Therefore, a 3-day press preview of the Edsel was planned so that the world could see what the Edsel was all about. During this press preview, all kinds of events took place. Stunt drivers drove the Edsel at breakneck speeds, crisscrossing around each other, performing giant drifts and jumping over ramps. This event was designed to make the Edsel seem cool and powerful. As mentioned though, Americans were starting to move away from this style of car. The wives attending the event also saw the car as dangerous, and although Ford did try to get them back on side, it unfortunately couldn't change any opinions. When the event was finally over and it was time for everyone to go home, the cars were then driven from the event to the dealership by the press as a way for them to get hands-on feel for the car. Unfortunately, using the cars that have just undergone dangerous stunts and stress may not have been a great idea. A litany of issues occurred as the cars were driven to the dealership, leading to numerous breakdowns and crashes. It's safe to say the reviews of the Edsel weren't great. Consumer Report noted that the Edsel had no basic advantages over other brands. The squeaks and rattles go beyond acceptable limits. The car is sluggish, overslow on the steering, shakes, and has confusing features. So the Edsel seemed doomed. It had no endearing qualities and was being slated for its looks, its reliability, and its existence. Ford had a target of selling 200,000 Edsels a year, but ultimately only ended up selling 109,000 before it discontinued the line in 1960, just 2 years after release. So what can we learn from Ford and the Edsel? Well, the market moves fast and what people want is always changing. If you've got future plans, make sure to consider whether they'll still be relevant when the time comes. Ford also took a massive bet on the Edsel. nearly half the firm's net worth. And although they spent $250 million on production, the total net loss is estimated to be $350 million. So remember, if you're winning and it seems like you can't lose, maybe take some opportunity to mitigate your losses. Finally, understand your customer. From the Edsel's name, to the way it looked, to the way it felt, it was marketed to people all wrong. Was it a piece of art, a rally car, or a piece of junk that was falling apart? No one really knew how to feel about the car, and the message Ford put out was muddled and confused. So when you're talking to new people or trying to convey a new idea, stay true to that idea and understand what your audience wants. So that was the story of one of Ford's biggest secrets, the Edsel. Now you know why Ford doesn't want you to know about its failure. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe for some more interesting business lessons.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading.